Welcome to the MVP Show. Today's guest was one of the first females to receive the MVP award in Australia and New Zealand back in 2018. I'm pleased to say that we've had another one come aboard this year. I'm really looking forward to today's chat with Elaiza Benitez. I'll warn you that you don't want to get into a fight with her. She's brutal in the gym and takes the same ethic into her work, being described as a rare gem and a great role model to her peers. Let's kick some butt today with Elaiza. For full show notes, go to nz365guy.com/80. Now let's get on with the show. Well, welcome to the MVP Show. I'm here with Elaiza. Elaiza, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks.
You're good. Are you going to be quiet on this call? Are you going to be excited on this call? What do you got in store for us?
It depends what we talk about or where this conversation leads us.
Well, we'll start with some passions of yours.
Okay.
I think it's a good starting point. So I know a couple of things about you. And I want to start with, first of all, you live in Melbourne, Australia. And what is Melbourne famously known for?
Hipsters?
Hipsters? Okay.
That was the first thing that came in my head. Laneways.
Awesome.
Laneways?
Awesome.
Laneways?
What else?
Coffee.
Coffee and food, right?
Oh, yeah, food. Man, I love my food.
Okay, so tell me about your passion for food.
Oh, I love it. So the interesting thing about me is that I actually went vegan at the beginning of last year.
Wow. Did you?
Yeah, so a bit of that has, massive change, but it's been good, yeah. But even...
Can I tell you my pet peeve about vegans?
Sure.
Not about vegans, but about vegan restaurants. Why in vegan restaurants do they give their food meat-related labels? Or they create a name for the food that is the same as a food that is generally a meat-based dish? I can't understand that.
I've never stopped to think about it until now.
You know, I go in and they'll go, we'll give you a vegetarian patty. Well, don't call it a patty. Call it, patty is owned by meat, isn't it? Call it something else. Or they'll say, we're going to give you, what's another example? I tell you what, I went to a vegan restaurant in Ponsonby in Auckland and
Wait, hang on. Well, that's your problem there.
Come on.
Going to Ponsonby in Auckland.
Come on, that's where all the toffs hang out, right? And and they had this vegan, what did I have? I had a vegan bagel. So I love bagels, right? I mean, bagels are amazing. They're a certain texture. A New York bagel is just out of this world. And do you know that the bagel wasn't even a bagel? It was I have no idea, but I'm just sorry, I had a bacon and egg bagel where the bacon was fake. The bacon was made out of, what was it made out of? It was made out of coconuts. So it was coconut was the bacon. And I was just I had all these ideas in my mind of this beautiful breakfast I had, and I had to go out and get McDonald's afterwards.
Well, obviously you haven't tried my home cooking.
Awesome. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So when am I going to get some of your home cooking?
I don't know. Well, it depends if there's anyone staying at an apartment in Seattle for MVP Summit.
Yes,
maybe.
I am. I got.
You are?
We're at an Airbnb.
Oh, I thought you'd be staying in one of the hotels.
I've done that. It's time. It's time to branch out from the hotels.
You could have told me this. Because I went for the hotel option.
Oh, no. Isn't
first time.
Good call. Definitely a good call. But anyhow, yes, at some point, maybe you should come to London and you could cook, or actually we could just go to a vegan restaurant in London.
Yeah. My specialty is a smoky barbecue style jackfruit. However, I live up the road from the South Melbourne market. So there is a stall called Georgie's Harvest, and they smoke their own chilies. And so that's where I buy my chipotle, and there's another type of chili that I buy. I can't remember the name, but it begins with M. So I just grind those dried chilies up, and then that's what I use in my jackfruit, and it's really good.
Wow, so do you like it hot?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to hot food. I mean, I'll do it on a deer, but I wouldn't do it because I love it type thing, you know?
Have you ever done Russian roulette with pizza
Oh, I've not done it
slices.
with pizza. I've done it at Din Tai Fung with dumplings.
Oh, really? It's fun with pizza.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. It would be. Hey, that'd be a good thing to do.
There was a competition in Wellington, so this is when I used to live there, and me and my workmates we used to hang out on Fridays, and one of the craft beer bars down there had a Russian roulette pizza slice competition, and if you could handle it, then you'd get free beer and a free pizza and a packet of these chips all the way from the States, and they're famous because they use the ghost chilies. And so
Did you win them?
one of my, no, not me. One of my past colleagues, he went through it and he aced it. And then, yeah, he was just in the bathroom for a few good minutes, and he came out and he's like, yeah, I threw up. We're like,
Intense.
oh.
And that means he double dosed it, right? Because he got it on the way up as well as on the way down.
Yeah.
Horrible, horrible. Okay, so you're a MVP in Australia, in Melbourne, and I take it you got your first summit coming up. So how excited?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm so excited. Like for me, like you know how people follow, well, I don't know if everyone does, but you know how people follow sports people? Like so in New Zealand you've got Valerie Adams, who's a famous shot putter, and then you've got her brother Stephen Adams, who plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I believe
Crap.
you because I have no idea.
And you know how you like follow them and you watch them on the news and you follow them from the sidelines, and then all of a sudden you're going to be given the opportunity to meet them? That's how I feel about Summit, because there are people in this community who I followed, back when I started my career with Dynamics, and I'm looking forward to meeting them in person. I'm probably going to be a bit nervous inside because I'll do that whole, hey, it's, so-and-so. Oh, do I say hey? Oh, wait, no, someone's talking to him now. Okay, I'll just wait quietly. Oh, look, here's my chance. Oh, wait, no, wait, hang on. Someone else is talking to him now. I don't want to say anything. And then I'll be like, oh, it's Julie. I know Julie. I can talk to her. I'm comfortable with her right now. It's that kind of starstruck moment that is going to hit me, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am. But I'm also looking forward to meeting people from the Portals team, John Levesque from the Microsoft Flow team, and Steven Siciliano. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the experience, and I can't wait.
I think you will enjoy it. I think you will enjoy it. So tell me, what was your journey to becoming a MVP?
I started with Dynamics back in 2009, and, back then I didn't even think that it was possible to become an MVP because, I was just starting out. And then it was only when I moved to Melbourne, coming up to 6 years living in Melbourne now, by the way. It's crazy. In May this year. Yeah. It was only when I moved to Melbourne, and probably about 2 years ago now, or back in 2017, because we had just done our first Dynamics 365 Saturday in Australia. And then Andre nominated me. I didn't know. And then I got the notification email. And then I was like, wow, you did that? And he's like, yeah, you deserve it. So I was like, you think so? And he's like, yeah, I believe you could be an MVP. So I was like, oh, okay. And that's how it started. But I didn't think about it when I started my YouTube channel back in 2014. Like it didn't cross my mind. At that point in my life, I was just wanting to share my knowledge beyond my team that I was working with at the time.
So who nominated you?
It was Andre Margona.
Very good and well deserved. I mean, when I look at your contribution in the community, and particularly how you engage across various social channels, you are very inclusive, embracing of everybody in the community. So I'm very pleased that you're on part of the team, or in the family, as we like to call it. It's quite.
Oh, thanks,
It's
Mark.
very, very nice. And I hear recently that there's a new MVP, a female MVP that's now in WA. Is that right?
Yeah, Ash Colmsey.
How old do you know Ash?
I think she might be the youngest.
Wow. How old? She's around 20, isn't she?
Yeah, I
20,
think so.
22 maybe? I'm not sure. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, so I came across her probably sometime earlier this year through John Levesque, and yeah, it's been good, and I'm looking forward to meeting her in March.
Yeah, yeah. I assume she's coming to Summit as well, which will be awesome.
Yeah, because I came across her YouTube channel, so she does it with her dad Paul back in, I think it's in 2016. That was when Parrots had just come out, and I was curious about it. And Paul and Ash, from what I remember, were the only ones that were doing videos on it on YouTube. And my favorite one of hers today is she's done a power app on it's like how to rickroll someone. I don't want to ruin it for those who haven't seen that video, but I recommend to check it out after you listen to this podcast episode. It's quite entertaining.
I will get you to send me the link to it,
Yeah, for sure.
and we'll chuck it in the show notes. So you've been an MVP for almost, well, it's coming up a year. It must be getting close to a year now. Has anything changed since becoming an MVP? I know you haven't done your first summit yet, but like, has anything changed for you since becoming an MVP?
Well, LinkedIn requests skyrocketed. I still haven't gone through all the requests, so I'm sorry. There are people listening going, why hasn't she accepted my LinkedIn request? Because it's just too much, and I find that bit overwhelming. Like, not kidding, I actually have over 200, and I haven't bothered because I've got other things that I deem as higher priority. I've noticed that people see me in a different way, not in a bad way, but I suppose in a good way. And I don't know, I still feel the same in a way inside. Yeah. And if anything, I just want to be able to help others as well in the community as an MVP. Like, and that's why throughout my YouTube videos, I will always, make a reference to someone's Twitter or the blog post or the YouTube channel. Just like I mentioned to you in our first podcast episode together about paying it forward. Yeah, just bringing light to others in the community that deserve it as well.
Tell me a bit about the award you won earlier this year.
Last year.
Well, it was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. Goldfish memory.
something we've already discussed, yes. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so what happened was we have a marketing person at Barhead Solutions. Her name is Alexandra Tugger. She's based in Sydney. She emailed all of the women in Barhead Solutions saying, hey, there's this annual award. Here are all the award categories. Let me know if you're keen and we can go ahead and submit it. So out of the awards, I submitted for 3. One was Shining Star, which I think from memory was 8 years or more in the industry. The second one was Achievement, and then the third one was Technical. To be honest, I didn't think I would get Technical because I don't consider myself technical. For me, technical is more like someone who's a solution architect or someone who can code. I can't do that. And when I was selected for the Technical award, I was like, oh, what? I didn't even explain it. Sorry. So this annual award is in Australia. It represents women in IT in Australia. They have also launched it in New Zealand. I think it's been going there for a few years now, but it started in Australia in 2012. And so each year it's just celebrating and recognizing women in tech, basically. And so the Technical award was about recognizing someone who has contributed to the technical and engineering area of the industry and demonstrating like your knowledge and your abilities, problem solving and decision making skills and all of that. And yeah, so I flew up to Sydney because the awards ceremony was in Sydney in November last year. And I was looking forward to it because I was like, wow, I'm going to be surrounded by women who have probably gone through either similar or the same experience as me. And I wanted to talk to them to see, their journey to date, because there are women in there who are a lot further in their career than I am right now. So I was just interested to see, what was next for them. And yeah, that was really fun. And then the award happened, and my name was getting called out, and then it just happened, and I don't know, everything just blanked out, because I was just like, oh, now I have to go on stage and say a speech. I actually did a video of the whole day, award ceremony. That's on my YouTube channel. It was, I had made an awkward speech. Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
I'm not really good at those things. I'm one of those people who sometimes is not comfortable talking about my own achievements, and I kind of shy away from it.
Let's pivot and talk about YouTube. What's your story with YouTube?
My story with YouTube, well, no one was really doing it in the Dynamics community, and the videos at the time were just uploading recordings of webinars, and I wanted to do it more of being able to pretend that I'm talking to the person on the other side. So what not many people know about me is that I actually was a tutor back in university in Wellington. I was a tutor for a 300 level paper, so I was teaching undergraduates who were either in the final year or in the second to final year. And it was from there, that's where I kind of liked having the whole teaching and training others. And so that's when I was like, oh, I kind of want to do this with Dynamics. And that's what I did. And it was also my way of being able to be comfortable with speaking, because back then I was younger and sometimes I wasn't comfortable talking to others in meetings because of how I felt they were more experienced, or the whole I don't really want to talk against a senior or whatever. And YouTube was my way of being able to show my knowledge and my competency with Dynamics, basically, and feeling comfortable knowing that no one's gonna be like, hey, what are you doing, sort of thing. Yeah. And I found it more I suppose more pleasant than actually writing a blog post. And it was only probably about towards the end of 2017 where I kind of changed the way I was doing my vlogs, like having a bit more of structure, and then starting to give like cues in terms of here's all the steps that you need to do and whatnot.
Okay, so break it down for me, your current process from deciding on a topic to hitting, publish on YouTube.
Oh, wow. So I have a list. Sometimes I just wing it, because sometimes I would have just solved something and I was like, oh, I want to vlog about this and vlog about it as soon as possible. And when I do, I normally commit to Saturday doing the prep and the run through, and then Sunday's a bit of fine tuning, and then I go ahead and do the recording. And I tend to mess up every single time. And the most takes that I've done to date is 12.
Wow, that's high.
Yeah, I'm very particular with the quality and how it went. Like if I don't feel that it's good halfway through, then I'll just actually stop and then start all over again. So then that's the Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is the editing and doing the blog write up. And then hopefully on the Friday, that's when I publish.
Wow. So it's a week-long process you're taking to produce a video.
Yeah, and that's because I don't do any of the editing during work hours.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, because for me, it's not fair on the client that I'm working with. I mean, I'm there to work with them, and I shouldn't be working on personal stuff. There have been weeks where sometimes I do wait. If I've got plans later in the evening, then I'll feel satisfied that I've kind of covered some of it and then make up for it for the following night. Yeah, sometimes I do have late nights.
Makes sense. So let's talk a bit about your if you like, your staging. So is it just a bedroom location or a lounge or something like that? Like, how do you decide where your table goes, your WTF, all that kind of stuff? Positioning your camera, what camera do you use? Tell us a bit about that.
I have like a really, what's the expression? Is it a low frill? Low frills? Cheap frill?
Yeah,
Low
low
frills
frills, low
setup.
tech, low tech. Yeah.
I just use, so the background in my videos is white, so that's just the wall in my lounge, and I just use a Logitech webcam. I don't have any special microphone. Gus, if you're listening, you're probably shouting, going, why? Don't make any potato videos of me. And then in terms of the software recording that I use, the recording software, I should say, that I use Camtasia. And yeah, that's about it. I don't have a special, what do you call it? You know, those ring lights that some YouTubers use? Yeah, I don't have that. I just use my lounge lights. Like if I'm recording late in the evening, then I just, use my lounge lights. I don't have anything special. I really should do it behind the scenes of my vlog. I think people would find it interesting.
Yep, and I think why they'd find it interesting is that you don't have to be massively high tech to start producing good content. At the end of the day, it comes down to the content rather than the tech. Everything else is kind of additive after that point, but you've been, successful in what you're doing by producing good quality videos with the equipment you have, which I think is fantastic.
Thank you. And I found that you can actually change your audio levels and get rid of any background noise with some Camtasia features, so that's been helpful. I only found out about that probably in the last 3 years.
So have you been adding kind of sound effects and stuff to your video as well with Camtasia?
Yes, I have. For those of you who have been following me, there's a couple of episodes that come to mind. So the first one is I did a Dynamics 365 for Portals vlog on what you can do with helper text, and I actually had fun with it. That's been my favorite one to date, so I'll send you the links as well. And then my second one is I did a WTF episode where I had like the incorrect buzzer sound, and that was when I was just showcasing how to correctly reference a 2-option field in Flow.
Have you had any kind of kickback around or comments on your play on what the fuck and WTF?
Yes. People usually go, wow, why didn't I think of that? Or it's hilarious. I love it. Yeah. It's pretty good because that's actually how I felt when I first started my journey with Flow, because it was different than, what we're all used to with the classic Dynamics 365 workflows. And sometimes when you get the error messages, well, actually it still happens today, you're like, what the hell? Like, why is this not working? It's like it works in Dynamics 365, but it doesn't work in Flow. And then after you spend like a few minutes or even hours after you figure it out, you're like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't obvious.
So how close are you to not using Windows Workflow Foundation / the Dynamics Workflow Engine anymore?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Do you have kind of like, as you're working on customer projects and stuff like that, have you started like a timeline of, how many days have you strung together without touching the old workflow tool?
I don't know if I can answer that. Just because of the client I'm working with.
Oh, no. As in, so you still are touching the old workflow tool?
Yes.
I mean, hey, nothing to be ashamed about there. Like, it's a journey, right? It's not there yet. And I just wondered if you were, on a mission to kind of phase it out of your life and cut that habit.
Yeah. But it's working through client projects where I also get my ideas for my WTF series, because I'm always like, oh, can I do this in Flow, or can I do this better in Flow?
Client projects is such a great source of creating blogs that, you can, creating any type of content where you don't have to mention what who the customer is or anything like that, and, no identifiable information, but it is definitely a source of ideas for creating content for the community. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And it's also been those frustrating moments as well when either you as a functional consultant can't figure it out through a Dynamics 365 workflow, and then you have to turn to a developer who can possibly do it either through custom workflow activities or a plugin or something completely different. And it's from those moments where I've kind of looked back and now I'm like, oh, I can now do this in Flow.
Cool. Anyhow, okay, it's time to wrap up because you've spoken so much.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's, so we need to think of some of my end questions. So the first one to you is going to be, what's your best purchase under $100?
Oh my gosh. I would have to say my Rollies shoes. So
Rollies shoes.
Yeah, I'll send you another link. Rollies is a shoe brand that was born and made in Melbourne, and it's just really comfortable. And so there was a stock takes sale last year, and so I score these awesome shoes for $80. Maybe I'll bring them to Summit, but I don't know. They have like these holes that have been cut out by lasers, so I don't know, I might freeze. I don't really want to freeze in Seattle.
Yeah, agreed. Hey, but just off topic slightly, what about what type of workout routine do you normally do at the gym?
Oh. Why are you asking me this? Oh, now I'm just
because as in I see all the photos coming through on Instagram, so I know you're hard out into it.
Yeah, so I do whatever I feel like on the day. Normally I always start off with cardio, and then I just do whatever I feel. And the whole point of my videos that I do is to show you that you don't need to use machines or necessarily like the normal weights that you use in the way that you normally see other people use them. It's just showing variety in that. Yeah, because the thing is with me, I can't do same things each week. I have to try something different, and so yeah, I just get creative.
Cool. Okay, some quick fires. Who do you think of when you think of the word punchable?
I don't think of anyone in particular, but what I do feel like I need to punch someone is when they touch my mouse or my keyboard. I don't like people that do that, and Natraj knows this very well because we're in the same project together, and he always goes, "Oh, wait, sorry, can I touch this?"
That is awesome.
Yeah, I just don't like people touching my mouse or keyboard.
Well, Elaiza, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Before you go, if people want to connect with you, where can they find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, and on my blog.
And what have they got to search for?
They just got to search for my name, Elaiza Benitez, or for my blog, it's Benitez here.
Hey, thanks for listening. I love to hear from anyone in the Oceania or APAC region that's embarking on their journey towards becoming an MVP. For such a large region, we only have a total of 15 MVPs. So what can I do to help? Maybe you want to reach out to me, take a little bit of mentoring or something like that. Feel free to contact me on any social media using NZ365Guy. For full show notes for today, visit nz365guy.com/80, and I'll see you around.